Welcome back to Breaking the Curse with Sunshine and Nikki. I am Sunshine, and this is my little cousin Nikki. Say hi, beautiful. On today's episode, we are going to be discussing love versus lust. That's a big one. Do you even know the difference? Not talking to you yet, Nikki, talking to those who are watching. Do you understand the difference in love and lust? And what would you define it as? Today, we're going to talk about what we define it as. So, Miss Little Nikki,
Yes, yes, I love it.
how do you define lust?
Ooh, I think I define lust as the wanting or longing for something or someone um that is not healthy. I think yeah.
Just not healthy. So you telling me you can't? Okay, never mind. Go ahead.
So listen. I think of lust two ways, but naturally, honestly, my first opinion of lust is a negative one because lust has been used so often in a negative way.
It has been.
So now, as I'm trying to evolve, I'm understanding that lust can go both ways. It can actually be a good thing, but oh God, she's screaming.
Keep going. It's okay. We have twins, everyone. We have twins. It's okay. Keep going.
And she's clearly getting her hair done. Um, yeah, so I think of lust in two ways, but the first thing that comes to my mind is that it's an unhealthy longing for something. Um, Now I'm learning that it's important to, in a marriage, um, have that longing for, or that some people may call it chemistry, or sexual attraction or fire. I mean, they refer to it in all types of ways. So yeah, but my first thing is gonna say in an unhealthy way because I just think of it being negative. What about you?
Well, first, I'm going to go to the dictionary. The dictionary says the definition of lust is a very strong sexual desire.
Mhm.
To have a very strong sexual desire for someone. Then I go to what is the true meaning of lust. And it says to have an intense desire or need, crave specifically to have sexual urges. And then I go to the definition of lust in the Bible, a man who uses his bodies for wrongs.
Okay. So at first, when you first said it, and they said it was a sexual desire for someone, I was like, yo, I must be a freak because I said something or someone.
You are a freak. We understand that. That's why your nickname is Freak Nick. We understand who we're talking to, little Nick. We get it. But okay, so my opinion or thoughts on lust are definitely not what I was taught. Let me go on record saying that. I think that you can have healthy lust and unhealthy lust. Unhealthy lust turns you into a stalker. It turns you into the let me slash your tires. Let me burn up all your clothes. Let me sit outside your job and wait for you to get off. Oh, you taking her on a date? Then I'm gonna come pull up a chair. That's lust in a negative way. Okay. But just me desiring my husband, oh my God, I can't wait till he get home and juices get to flowing. And when I see him, I'm gonna immediately snatch his clothes off his body. I mean, I have a thing for men with locks. And my him, I literally was telling him, don't make me drag you by your locks. But he knows what that means. Like that's a me and him type of situation. So it's good lust and bad lust. So it depends on which one we're talking about. I know we were taught that you're not supposed to lust for anything, but like it just said, you can lust for food, you can lust for money. So lust is not always sexual. So how do we make everything about lust sound like it's so negative when it's not always sexual? There are many more things that are worse to lust after than it is sex with your significant other, is how I word that. And that's because even though, we're spiritual and we know better, we also know that not everybody that's having sex is married. So, and if you lusting for every man you see, you're not lusting. You're garden tool. If it's every man you see.
Okay, like, because I was like, so what are you then?
I mean, like, really. I mean, you're letting them use you as a tool. If anybody can get it, why do I want it? So
Okay.
I don't see it all negative, but there are definitely situations that make it negative. If I can't lust over my husband, then I don't want to. It's just that simple.
Okay. Okay. So now I'm so sorry. I feel so bad.
Don't be sorry. We have twins.
They're not happy today.
It's okay.
Um, so you said you feel like it's important to lust after your husband. Is there a point where it can become too much?
I'm not going to become obsessive with him. I want him to go to work. I want him to have his own life. Not that we have secret lives or anything like that, but his circle of friends that maybe I'm not going to be around. Men are very protective of their women when they're good men. They won't just bring any old person around their woman, period. That has nothing to do with jealousy or control or insecurity. That really is just them doing their job. They're supposed to protect us. So sometimes they might have to protect us from the company that they keep, you know. But I don't want to be to the point that he's gone and I'm miserable laying in the bed all day, haven't done anything for myself. All I can do is think about him while he out there making money to provide for us. My complete focal point is on him. And I don't even get up to take care of my hygiene, so I know he's on the way in the house, or get up to cook because everything is about him. That's obsession. I don't want to have to call him 30 times a day. I don't want to have to look at him. Nowadays, we have devices. I don't want to have to look at him on Find a Friend or whatever you call it on Apple because I know that I can and see where he's located at. I don't care where he's located at. Where's the trust if I'm going to be that type of person? So to me, that's unhealthy. It's unhealthy when you're obsessed with someone. It's not unhealthy to desire your mate sexually. Period. That's it. But it's a time and place for everything. So go make that money first, fellas. Okay. She gonna be there when you get home.
Yeah, so so when I first got married, my husband, I would say, lusted after me a lot. Like, he wouldn't let me sleep through the nights. I couldn't walk in the house. God forbid we meet up for lunch. I mean, in the morning time, I would come into work disheveled and everybody be like, oh, yep. Lorenzo, he went to work at his regular time today, huh? Okay. Like, which is blatant.
Hey, you was still a newlywed.
No, it got to a point we had to have a conversation. I was like, listen, please. He used to say that I should have been in the Matrix because I was so good at like ducking and dodging. Stop. Stop touching me. Leave me alone. Let me sleep. Because
But
he's
that's
a
good that he desired you like that. Now, see,
mm,
for me, I would rather my husband desire me that way than for him to desire some person on social media or in the movies or in porn.
I
I
will
would
say
rather.
that. Yeah, so then we had that conversation and then that lusting after me kind of dwindled down and then it stopped
Also,
completely.
you put the fire out.
Uh-huh. And we know how that turned out.
We'll deal with that off camera.
Right.
We will deal with that off camera.
Yeah.
But at least you
So
can admit, though, that you understand that that was a you thing.
yeah.
And if you put someone in a box that spiritually have legal rights to you sexually, you
Hmm.
kind of get what you get because you're the one who told them to stop. What if that person just is borderline nympho?
Mm-hmm.
What if that's what they are? And what if they're coming into themselves, and you're the person that they're supposed to see that way? You're the person they're supposed to turn to that way. Just because you say stop doesn't change that they have that sexual desire.
Mm-hmm.
Just think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Not
Mm-hmm.
saying that it's right, just looking
Yeah.
at things from every perspective.
Right. Well, now that I guess on Friday I'll be 4 years in. So now that I'm, in a little bit, still technically a newlywed, I guess. Um, I'm learning the compromise of it all.
That's right. You
Yeah,
can't want
because
to use whips and chains on him and tell him to come.
right, and
That's fine.
the tables turned. Like when I was pregnant with the girls, I had to like tie him up. Like, listen, buddy, like my the tables turned. So, yeah, I just was curious if it's a line of too much.
No, it's not. It might come into the portion of being unequally yoked.
Mm-hmm.
It might come into that. But the flip side of it is none of us are completely equal. When we look at that statement, that scripture, I think a lot of people take it out of context as far as
Yeah.
I'm concerned, because opposites attract.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just start there. And we
Yeah.
all know that that's true. Sometimes you'll see a guy with a female and it'll be like, and he chose her. Or vice versa. She chose him. They don't
Yeah.
even look like they're supposed to be together, but they're the happiest people that you would ever meet. And they
Yeah.
find everything they need, want, and desire in that person.
Yeah.
So when it comes down to sexual behavior, think about it. If both of y'all had that drive, when the heck would y'all work?
Right.
How would the bills get paid?
Never.
Where would the
Unless we
food
make the
come
only.
from? Listen, you need to go get you about 20 acres of land, go ahead and get you some cattle and livestock and
Well, we would definitely have enough kids to
I'm just saying.
tend
So
to the
both
land.
both of y'all can't be that out there with it at the same time. And then it's
Yeah.
even good if it balances itself out. So if he was
Mm-hmm.
that way in the beginning and then
Mm-hmm.
it kind of dwindled down for him, and then
Mm-hmm.
you became that way when it dwindled down for him, it kind of evens each other out if y'all are even operating out of what marriage is supposed to be. Because marriage is, I take care of your needs,
Mm-hmm.
you take care of mine.
Mm-hmm. And I also think that it depends on the season that you're in, Like if it's everybody is, going through different things. So I might have something going on physically where that like just postpartum, period.
Or
Where that
menopause.
or menopause. Where the drive is either up or down, you know what I mean?
Indeed. Are you willing to grab that jelly, sir? Are you willing to bring that into the bedroom?
My God.
It's the truth. I'll
Jesus.
give it to you, but it's not like it was.
It's not a slip and slide anymore.
It might still be sometimes. Depending on what the situation is.
Oh
If you
my.
get in my mind, it's gonna always be that way. And that's something that um I don't believe a lot of men, no, as I said, a lot of, not all for the listeners, I don't believe a lot of men really take that into consideration, that once a woman reaches a certain point in life, it is definitely more mental than it is physical. Because if you can't get in my mind, menopause or not, I'm still not gonna get wet.
Right.
Doesn't matter. So interesting. Interesting.
So to bring this back, love. Love. What is love to you, and why is love and lust so commonly confused in relationships?
Love is commanded.
Mm,
Let's start there. You don't have to do anything specifically out of the ordinary for me to love you,
mm-hmm,
because God commands me to love my enemies.
mm,
So I've learned to explain that, in the beginning of seeing someone and you're getting to know them and you understand that y'all both have the same goal is to ultimately reach marriage, especially now at my age and being a widow, stuff like that. It is listen, do not get excited because I tell you that I love you. Okay? That is my job, period. If the Bible tells me to love my enemies, why wouldn't I love you? Now, telling you that I like you is something totally different because I don't like a lot of people. Okay? Humans leave a lot to be desired when it comes down to loving them in a sexual, it's a word, what is it, eros? Is it an eros type of love? I think it might be eros. But they leave a lot to be desired in that manner. I used to tell people without understanding that whole God tells me to love you. What I used to tell people is love is equal to the life of various emotions. If you break it down, that is the definition. It's like somebody breaking down Bible into basic instructions before leaving Earth. We look at these words and we try to figure out, what is a simple meaning to the word that will always stick with me. So mine was love is a life of various emotions because I could love you and want to have all your babies today and you could mess up and I could still love you but don't even want to see your face. Just because I don't want to see you, just because I don't want you to touch me, just because I don't want to be in your presence doesn't mean that I don't love you. It might mean I love you so much that this is the reaction you're getting to something that you caused. Because if I didn't love you, this wouldn't bother me. So love is not as complex as people try to make it, but I don't believe people really understand truly. Okay, let me ask you this. Step out of being married. So you're dating someone, okay? And you say to this fella, would you die for me? And he like, yeah, I ain't dying for nobody. I don't hear you.
Oh, am I muted? Can you hear me?
Now I hear you.
He's not for me.
Exactly. Because real love, if we take it spiritually, did Jesus not show love by laying down his life for us and he didn't even know us? So you want to tell me you know me, you touch me, you feel me, you're around me, you're in me, we're doing all of these things. But if something were to take place, you wouldn't step in front of that bullet to protect me? That's not love to me. Love means that I would exchange my life for yours because I love you, period. That's it. I don't want you to walk around with some debilitating disease or embarrassing disease because sexual transmitted diseases and things like that exist. I don't want you to walk around in that manner. I don't want to have exchange that with you. But if it comes down to, oh, this bullet is moving, yeah, I might try to get in front of you if I love you that much. And I'm not even supposed to be the head, the protector. The man is supposed to be. So if I would do it for you, how dare you tell me you wouldn't do it for me? That's not love. So it depends. It depends. I've learned that I don't love as many people as I thought I did. Like, oh, that was infatuation. That wasn't love.
Yeah. Or I was in love with the idea of being in love.
Oh my goodness. When I was younger, there was this lady. I want to say her name was Miss Hazel. I called her Mama, but it was a guy. His name was Joe. And Joe was like my big brother. And his mother, his sisters, everybody adopted me into their family. So she found out that I was engaged. And she looked at me and she was like, you're not going to marry him. And I said, Mama, yes, I am. She said, no, you're not because you don't love him. I said, how you just going to look at me and tell me that I don't love him? Like, and everybody in the house just stopped. And she was like, you're in love with the fact of being in love. You are not in love with him. She said, you can be married with me today, but you're going to remember this one day. And it was like maybe 4 years later, I ran into them all in a restaurant. And she was like, did you marry him? I said, I did not. She said, see, I told you. But that's just the reality because sometimes people are in love with the idea of being in love because people make it look so nice. And it's not always nice.
It's not nice. I'm sorry. Love, it's not like this. Oh, don't even get me started.
And so y'all generation got it different though. The reason being because y'all have so much technology that we didn't even have when we were in y'all spaces. We didn't have the ability to track them. We didn't have social media. We didn't have everybody from the past being able to always be in touch because you're so easily able to be
Mhm.
found online. It's like even relationships nowadays, they never really end
Yeah.
unless you go recreate yourself. You have to be somebody totally
Yeah,
different.
because people can always double back, and it makes it harder. I think.
Stalkers. Stalkers. Especially when they see you doing better with somebody else than what you did with them. It's like, what?
Or I think even when you're like a person like me, where I end these relationships. Oh well, actually, just I ended my first relationship on a bad note, like where it was like, yeah, we're done. Um, when I was in my yeah, doesn't matter, but I was like a straight snitch. Um, but yeah, when you have these relationships with people and you end them on like a cordial note, and then social media is around, it's like they always have a way to contact you. And that is
They're
like,
like roaches. You just can't get rid of them. They keep coming through the cracks. Like, how did you find me?
listen, it was Christmas. Was it Christmas? It was Christmas, and my ex contacted me to let me know that he had cancer. And I'm married with the girls. It's just past one, okay? I mean, he's just a nice guy. We ended on a cordial note, whatever. And I lost it. And my husband didn't even know what to do to like comfort me because it's awkward for him. Like,
Like,
yo,
how do you comfort your wife that's mad about her ex?
yes.
How do you do that?
And then I'm mad at him because I'm like, it doesn't matter who he is. Just be a human for once. Because I'm very empathetic. So when I think about like just the fact that if this was back in the day, he wouldn't have had no way to access me. I would have found out years later, maybe if I bumped into somebody. But nowadays, it was just he just had to DM me. I mean, granted, he had to DM me several times for me to finally be like, "What? What's up? Like, I'm married. Leave me alone." And he was like, "Nah, I mean not like that. I just wanted to let you know, like, blah 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 blah."
Listen, I'd have been like, fool, I care, but I don't care enough that you just ruined my Christmas. Are you serious?
Yeah, that was actually really rough. I was like, of all time. Well, and then in his defense, he had been messaging me since like Thanksgiving, but like a
Oh,
little
so
bit
you go
before
from one holiday to
Thanksgiving.
the next. We're not making excuses for these fools.
Yeah, I
We're
mean
not.
that's very true. I mean, he could have just waited until like never to tell me. But the principle is,
He could have waited to after the New Year or after Christmas. You don't do anything between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
I mean,
Just
and
ruin my
and,
house.
and in his defense, it is very aggressive. It was this stage 4.
Okay, so did he want to apologize to you?
Um, no, he wanted to basically one. He said he just needed a friend.
Okay, so let me get this straight. This is why we're here because I'm big cousin.
Uh huh.
You telling me that it was aggressive, so
Uh
he had been harassing you and you had been ignoring his messages for at least a month or so, give or take, if it was
Right.
Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Uh huh.
And the reason for his persistence
Mm.
wasn't to say, I'm sorry for X, Y, and Z. I need to get this right before I die.
No, I mean realistically, okay, so he really had nothing to apologize for. I mean,
Or
I
even say, I forgive you.
right because the guy I'm married to is the no, it don't even matter. But
That's an off camera conversation. Okay.
the principle is, I probably should have been apologizing.
But I'm saying he could have even been saying, I want to just let you know that no matter what it is that happened, I
Yeah,
forgive you.
yeah. I mean, I think he said that in a way, a little bit,
So he wanted to
like.
give you peace in case you found out.
Yeah, he kind of said that in a way. And then, I kept talking. I was like, it was just a very touchy situation because I'm empathetic and cancer hits close to home.
It does.
And then the type of cancer is stage 4 colon cancer, whole colostomy bag. And I mean, just a
He just
lot. And
threw it.
he's like only 30. 3, and I mean,
God bless.
a lot. You know, he never had no kids, he never got married, and he always wanted this family, and it just was a lot.
So do you think, changing gears,
Hmm.
same subject, but
Uh-huh.
something different that wasn't on the agenda? Do you think that
So according to my husband, he wanted to smash, but I felt like I don't know how you want to. Never mind, it don't even matter. We have to have this conversation later because
do you think it was disrespectful? That's what I was going to ask you. Do you think that him feeling like he needed you specifically, his ex, to be a friend to him during his final days or his struggles or whatever? Prayerfully, he didn't kick the bucket. But do you think that it was disrespectful knowing that you were married to do that?
I mean, hindsight is 2020, right? So
I'm
no,
asking today. I ain't talking
okay,
about that. I'm asking
all
today.
right. So knowing how it all played out, then yes.
So because of how it played out, it's like it was disrespectful.
Yeah, because then after I continued to try to be there, I learned that it was some other intent happening at the same time.
Of course it was. Now, do you feel like
But I was
you
oblivious to it. I was just oblivious because I'm like, oh no, no, because I'm.
do you feel like you being an empath literally was disrespectful to your marriage because your husband was against it?
So now I see it and I understand that because when my husband was coming to me like, yo, no, like, are you? I'm not wiping no tears. Are you literally crying? Like, he just was like, whoa, okay, no. Like, no. If he tried, he tried. He sat there, and, I know when he, like, not liking something because he stopped playing with his ear. So he's watching me cry. And he's not trying to console me. He's playing with his ear. So I'm like, he's irritated. So,
Okay.
so
But
now know what I know. Yes, it was disrespectful. I should have just, you know, not even responded to the DMs, or I should.
block is a very good feature, just in case you didn't know.
Yeah.
I have more people on my block list than I have on my friends list.
Yeah, I'm starting to understand it.
It's there for a reason. There.
Yeah.
We have to understand, especially in breaking the curse, we have to understand that sometimes there are certain types of demons assigned to bloodlines.
Mhm.
And one of our issues in our family is no one ever makes it to successful marriages.
Mhm.
They get married, they get divorced.
Mhm.
They get married, they get divorced.
Mhm.
I don't personally know of anyone who's lived out their vows the way that I have, if that makes
Mhm.
sense. So where are the people before us that was supposed to set the example for us of it not being a microwavable thing? This one don't work, you can pop another one in.
Mhm.
And so you have to step back and look spiritually and say, what is it about our bloodline? What is it about us
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
over here, a successful marriage is very non-existent if you really look
Right.
at it. Because some people will feel like, well, yeah, she lived her vows out to better or worse, rich or poor, sickness and health, death do us part. But they might feel as though, well, she wasn't married for 50 years, so that
Mhm.
doesn't matter. But it
Mhm.
still should matter because at least I made it to that part of life, and some people didn't. But what
Mhm.
is that demon disattached to the bloodline that doesn't want to see a marriage go to success?
Right.
What type of strongholds could you and your husband together pull down together that you can only do together?
Mhm.
You can't do it separated. You can't do it divorced. You can only do it
Mhm.
together.
Yeah.
What is it that you're supposed to affect in the future for the generations coming behind you
Yeah.
to say, hey, Aunt Nikki did this, Cousin Nikki did that,
Mhm.
Mommy did that, Grandmommy did that.
Mhm.
So you have to be so careful because the internet, social media, however you want to word it, it literally opens us up to stuff that we would have never had to fight through.
Mm-hmm.
Like not being able to get rid of an ex because they saw our picture on social media.
Right.
So what? You saw some videos. Thank you. I appreciate the fact that you think that I'm beautiful. I appreciate the fact that you think I'm doing great in life. But some things you don't necessarily have to say to a person. You can say a quick prayer to God or whoever it is that you worship and keep it moving because you don't wish no ill will on that person. I always wonder when an ex show up, why now?
Mm-hmm.
Then if I just broke up with you or you just broke up with me, most of the time it's me, just being honest. But if it just ended between us
Yeah.
and we reconcile, that's one thing. But if it's ended between us and time has passed and I'm in a whole new relationship and you pop up, why are you here? For what? Because
Yeah.
90% of the times, if I left you for a reason.
Yeah.
Period. What
Yeah.
has changed about you so grand that you feel like you have a right to just walk back into my life like you own it?
Mm-hmm.
That's love. That you think you can do that? Then you must love that person. That person must really love you if you think you have that type of control. Just
Mm.
being honest. If I just pop up, I kind of did this before, but if I just pop up and be like, listen, we ain't done. I don't care what you thought, but we're
Mm-hmm.
not done.
Yeah.
That means I know I have that right in your life. I know that space belongs to me. And I know no matter what it is that you're doing, nothing supersedes me. But one person I would never do it to is a married person. Because
Yeah.
if you're married, then that's crossing a spiritual line that I
Yeah.
don't have a right to cross.
Yeah. I had that type of relationship with someone too. And it took growing up for me to understand that I have always thought it was love. Like if you would have asked me over, I would have told you over and over again, oh, this person is my soul or my life partner. Well, I used to call him my life partner. And I just did it. I would just fantasize this relationship. And then I got married, to somebody else. And
That wasn't a red flag for you.
clearly this is what I do. But he would still just pop up. And it took me understanding that he didn't really love me because at the end of the day he didn't respect my decision or my choice.
Okay.
Pardon me. He didn't respect my decision or my choice. So it was never even love in the first place. So then I really had to sit back and analyze what that relationship was.
Was
And
it more
it was,
possession than love?
say it again.
Was it more possession?
Oh, it was hands down possession and lust.
Now, was it possession and obsession, or was it just possession?
It was probably possession and obsession.
On
It
your
was,
part or his?
I think it was a little bit of both. I think that we both, I mean, this was like a 13-year, 14-year relationship of
How old were you?
back and forth. When we first met,
Mm-hmm.
I was 20, I was like 20 maybe.
I said that for the listeners who's listening and watching so that they can kind of gauge where you were versus where you are. Because we
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I was
where you
20 and me and my husband have already had this conversation, so I'll have it now. I was 20 and when I met him and I cut off the relationship when I was 33.
okay. That's interesting. That's
Hmm.
interesting. So where you are now in life.
And that's the only person in my life that I like ex that I literally learned how to use all the block features
Indeed.
on everything.
Listen, I can't even use my government name because I've done that and I just can't take the madness. So it's
Mhm.
hey, call it what
Mhm.
you want, baby. I will block you in the heart. It's so bad in my life. If I see you on somebody else's page, I
Yeah.
will block you and the person page I saw you. Love is a life of various emotions.
Yeah.
It is. And lust, I mean, just off of reading the definition, like really just putting it out there of
Yeah.
what different sources say lust is. I can lust over a piece of fried chicken.
Well,
I
I
can
mean,
lust over some duck.
my toes done curled plenty of times eating some good food. I'm just saying.
I mean, my toes might curl, but I ain't gonna lust over. Because see, lust also means you'll do whatever you have to do to get it.
That's true.
You
I mean,
understand what I'm saying? And I ain't never had a plate of food that I'm willing to kill, steal, rob, and destroy.
well, I ain't gonna kill you. I mean, maybe never
But
mind.
lust can make people kill.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I ain't gonna kill nobody over the plate of food, but I might, swipe or no swiping. I mean,
Stupid. This is my
the,
little cousin, y'all. This is what we do. This is what we do. We do it so much that she decided let's make a show of it. This is what we do. People wouldn't believe these
we
conversations.
gotta share with the culture. I mean, really, you just gotta.
Man, listen.
All right, so listen, this is a really good conversation. And I actually want to continue the conversation and close it out because I got a couple of more questions.
Oh,
With that being said, I feel like this was a great topic. I think that I learned a lot today. And I'm thankful that we're able to have this conversation and share it with the people. So, if you guys like the content for today, please go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And go there, click down in the link in our bio to follow us on our social media handles. We would appreciate all the love. And we will catch y'all on the next episode of Breaking the Curse with Sunshine and Nikki. Love y'all. Bye.